Hi, welcome back. So today I thought it'd be a really nice idea to talk a little bit about what it takes to practice. And that's something that I feel is very, very much overlooked. So much of the time when people are coming to learn the guitar or really any instrument at all, and this applies for anything in life that you come to and that is difficult for you and you have to practice. So, as an example, we have this set of chords that I introduced the video with today, and that is C major, which will appear somewhere on the screen here, G major, D major, and finally A major. So, the first thing, especially if you're new to open chords and new to the guitar, you want to take some time and just get used to these chords in themselves. So a really handy thing that I do for myself and for my students is I will say, okay, we're going to start with the first chord. So we've got C. Get your hand in position. Now, once you've got your hand in the position, look at it. Like really look at it. Take in how it feels, how it looks, where your fingers are. Try and create a visual memory of it. Now, the reason for this is that, yes, muscle memory does come eventually, but that takes a long time. Visual memory can be so much quicker, especially when it's short term. So once you're happy and once you feel like you could confidently find that again really quickly, you take it off. And this is the part that I like to do. I say shake it out. So the more that you shake it out, the idea is that you're sort of wiping away this little bit of muscle memory that might have formed, and you're relying on your brain to actually tell you where to go, not your fingers. So after a few times of that, you should start to feel confident with it. And as soon as you feel confident, that is fantastic, and you should move on to the next chord. So then you do the same with G, and D, and A major. Right, so now you are completely satisfied with the way that you're playing these chords individually. So now we have to look at how you're going to change in between them. Now, I find that a lot of people sort of overlook this step because this step is actually really, really important, and you can either make the process super fast and super efficient, or you can just drag it out for days, weeks, years, your whole life. And this is, I feel this is the point that people give up on trying to get something done. This is the point where they're just like, it's too hard. It's way too hard. Ah! 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 So, instead of going through all of that heartache and all of that struggle and all the pain involved of that, there is a much simpler way of doing this. And this is a way that, as much as, yes, me as a teacher, it's much easier for me to see this because I can look at it from an objective point of view, but you can do this for yourself as well because your hands are doing something. They're doing something physical that is not specifically to do with your brain, and you can analyze it critically and analytically from your eyes. So you just look and make the judgment. Now, the first thing you do is say to yourself, okay, what actually is the motion that I'm doing? How is this going to affect my hand, trying to go from C to G? So the first thing I always say to my students is C to G, one of the worst changes you have to do. But there is a nicer way around it. Now, the way that I like to think about it is fingers 1 and 2, they raise up. Now, they're already in a similar position to how they're going to be in G, where the second finger is in front of the first finger. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring them round to where they lie in G. Now you have this really weird and awkward hand shape. And it actually naturally promotes your third finger to move away. So once again, you start in C, push forward, boom, boom, and you land in G. Now this can be applied to everything. So I'm going to give you a very quick rundown of how to do this for these chords, but this is not a teaching channel. This is not for you to come back and always be learning. I want to give you guys some tips that you can be self-sufficient, because trying to teach through YouTube, I do not believe in. It's a face-to-face, one-to-one interaction, and you connect with your teacher. And I'm more than happy to connect with any one of you guys that wants a lesson and wants to get involved. But this is not the place to do that, unfortunately. So here are just a few practice tips. So just as we were saying, analyzing the motion. So you're going to go from G and then to D. So you can see that the movement from G to D, I'm actually turning my hand this way. So you can think of it as the wrist and the arm come in, flip the hand around and get yourself into position. So these are things that will help you get there faster. Now finally from D to A major, it's a reversal, or it's a moving, a tilting of your hand. You're moving it at an angle. So when you're in D, your hand is almost straight up. As you're going to A major, you're going to turn your hand into the guitar and then bring your fingers together. And then you're in A major. So now you're saying, yes, Laurent, that's fantastic. I've got the individual chord changes. That's great. But what do I do now? So now the point is not to overload your brain. Your brain is like a slow, rubbish computer. We have to admit it. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. Until we can train it to get to the standard of an iMac, it's rubbish. So take your time. So first, do these motions as much as you can. Start off C, G. Your aim is to move as quickly as possible. Because when you start to play and when you start to sing especially, you cannot be thinking about these things. These things need to be second nature. They need to be boom, 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 boom. And you're done. So here we go. Just C to G. That fast. That's what you're looking for. As fast as you can. Be light, be ready, and just go for it. And once you've done this for all of the chords, and you really feel confident, then you can start stringing them together. But again, do not do it all at once. All at once is going to overload your brain. You won't have the time to focus. So what you can do is very slowly, you play C. Take your time, look, analyze again. Tell yourself, where are you going to go? Then make the move to G, fast. So you can take as much time as you want on each chord, but the change has to be fast. So then you've got G, great. So you can do this movement now. So now we're going to connect D. So let's start again. C. I'm looking at where I want to go. Boom. I got there. And now, same thing. I'm looking at where I need to go. And I got there. And this process really helps you break it down into little steps that are super quick, super manageable, and you can get the job done really, really quickly. Now this applies for everything. It's not just chords. Though open chords really do need the extra help when looking at tilting the hand, moving it this way, moving it that way, but with everything. And I will be going into this in other videos and showing you guys how to practice certain bits and certain genres and everything else, just giving you some advice as we go along. But just to recap, so first of all, learn your chords. Know them by heart, inside and out, and over and under, and just like know them in your dreams. Number two, look at linking the chords. Literally look at what you're doing and find out how to make the movement work. Because end of the day, you are a machine, your body is a machine, and it needs to make movements that suit itself. You know, you can't ask a bike to ride like a skateboard, and you can't ask a car to ride like a motorcycle. It is what it is, and you've got to work with it. So that is step two, use your body's motion. And step three, do not overload your brain. Give yourself time, break it down into the smallest, idiot's bits, and just get the motion right. It is much, much better to have taken the time and made sure that every motion is 100% correct than to run in and try and just like, which I have seen many, many people do, and it horrifies me. It's horrifying because you're just like, why are you doing this to yourself? You're learning bad habits, you're learning the wrong thing, and the more you do this, the worse it's going to get. So, till next time, ladies and gents, practice hard, practice right, practice smart.